And hello again. It's Chef Anita from the Head Start Kitchen. I'm going to show you today how to make a version of French onion soup using the onions that you got in your food box from the Redwood Food Bank, should you choose to do so. Now, French onion soup traditionally has beef stock and wine in it and Gruyere cheese, and however, we don't have wine to cook with. I have chicken stock, which is just fine. I don't have any fresh garlic, but I have granulated garlic, and I do have onions. So staff here in the Head Start kitchen kindly sliced up, I think there were about 6 or so onions in that bag, slice those up for me. So what I'm going to do now is put these on the stove in this pot. I'm going to put some butter in there, some olive oil, and then I'm going to let these onions cook long, slow, low time till they get all brown and caramelized and breaking down. And then we'll add in the broth, we'll add in some seasonings. I've got some thyme, bay leaf, thyme, and we'll let them cook down a little bit more, and then we'll put them together. I just made some fresh croutons. We don't have Swiss cheese or Gruyere cheese, but we have mozzarella that came in the food box before. So this is what the onions look like now. And I will show you when we're done what they will look like afterwards. Again, it takes a while to do it the way they say you're supposed to do it. So I'm going to put in about 1/4 cup of butter. I have about 1/4 cup of olive oil. You know how I like my sizzle. Want this to melt. Got a tall pot here. It's a lot of onions, but they look like they're a lot. Once they're all cooked, they'll be all down and small. Here we go. Breaking out the rings. Have an onion ring. I'm going to add a little salt to this. It helps the onions break down. So this takes a while to happen. So we're going to go away and then we'll come back. So it takes usually about 20 minutes, maybe 30. So I was just checking my watch. So when we come back, these are going to look really different. Again, this is our interpretation with what we have to make the classic French onion soup. All right? We'll be right back. Hi. We're back. It's been about 30 minutes. And the onions have reduced and caramelized. We're going to try a little magic here, see if we can show you what they look like. There was a whole lot of them on there before, but this is what they look like now. They do get small. Okay. Now, like I said before, traditionally French onion soup is made with beef broth and wine, and if we were serving wine, now is when I would be putting it into the pan to deglaze, because at the bottom of the pan there's all this little brown bits which carry flavor and they're so delicious. However, since this is a Head Start kitchen, and not a fancy French restaurant, we do not have wine to cook with. And because this is what I have, if I can get this open, and here we go there. I have chicken broth. So that's what I'm going to use to make the liquid part of our soup. So this is about a quart, under a quart. And then a can. Again, you can use beef broth. You can buy beef broth and use that. You can use vegetable broth. You can make your own broth and use it. If you have wine at home, you can put wine in and let it cook down. You don't have to though, because it's delicious even without. So now, I've got the broth in there. I'm going to stir it up. Like I said, I'm trying to get all those little brown bits off the bottom and into the soup. Because it just gives it flavor. I'm going to do probably about a half a teaspoon of dried thyme. 1 bay leaf. And I'm going to taste it to see how the salt pepper levels are. So I'll be right back. Watching a cooking video last night, and the woman was talking about you should season throughout the cooking process, taste and season, and that way it will be absorbed and it will be, the layers of flavor will be in there, as opposed to seasoning it at the very end when the salt is up on top. Well, the flavor of the salt is there, but not underneath, not in the foundation of the soup. I think the salt level's pretty good, so I'm not going to add any into it right now. I am using a low sodium, low fat chicken stock. So this is we're gonna let this heat up, let the thyme and the bay leaf break down and infuse flavor, and then when we come back, we'll put it in a bowl and I'll show you how we can serve it. Okay, so about 15 minutes, we'll be right back. Hello again. It's been about 15 minutes. This is heated up nicely. My sous chef reminded me I hadn't put any garlic in. Now normally, in the real world, when we have everything, I would have put garlic in with the onions. It would have cooked with the garlic, fresh garlic. Instead, I put in maybe a teaspoon of the granulated garlic so that flavor diffused. I tasted it again. I did add a little bit more salt. So I think it tastes pretty darn good. Come on up. Isn't that beautiful? There's the bay leaf. Now, I could have put the bay leaf in with the onions when the onions are cooking. Then that flavor could have infused that even more. There's a story about bay leaves that if you're eating a dish of food and you get the bay leaf, that means you get to kiss the cook. That's if the bay leaf ends up in there. So, traditional plating for French onion soup is it goes in a bowl. It gets a crouton or a piece of toast, and then and then it gets Swiss cheese on top. Well, I did make croutons. You been following, you saw how I make croutons. I made some fresh croutons, nice and garlicky croutons. We don't have any Swiss cheese. We have mozzarella. I think it's going to be delicious no matter what. So, dish this up. It smells really good. I'm going to float a few croutons in your turn. A few croutons on top. Put each one. I got the oven heated up. Croutons. Nice little covering of cheese. The oven's at 350. If you have a broiler and you have dishes that can be under a broiler, that's fine too. I know these dishes, I brought them from home. They are oven safe. And it's just to melt the cheese. Ideally with the broiler, it would be all brown and bubbly. We'll see what happens. I'm going to put it in the oven for about 5 minutes and we'll be right back. Okay. Oh yeah. Got a little color on there. Cheese is melted. I have to say these look pretty darn good as far as I'm concerned. Let's see if we can tilt the camera and get a look at these. Do a little sprinkle of pepper. Now, if I was home, I probably would take a sprig of fresh thyme and put it on top. However, we are here. I don't have fresh thyme. I did put some pepper. And this is how you can make a version of French onion soup using onions, using bread, using cheese, using food that you got from Redwood Empire Food Bank. Some of it came last Thursday on November 12th. Again, this is Anita from the Head Start Kitchen, Sonoma County Head Start, and I want to thank everyone for helping me, and I hope you enjoy this, hope you can use it, and I'll see you again. Thank you. Come and get it! Soup's up!